Hello my dear gardenists. This is the reason why I disappeared for months. First, I lost my voice for 2 weeks, so I wasn't able to film anything. I really couldn't speak. And then I really couldn't announce that we are going to Ireland for beautiful several weeks. So in this video I'm sharing with you my trip, what impressed me the most in Irish vacation, and the updated tour of part of the garden. I managed to clean up the front of the garden already because it looked a little bit messy, and we did hire the guy to come and clean our grass in the front. We left the back of the garden grass to grow and kind of shade itself for sun not to kill it, because I was not here to water it. And guess what? My garden lived without me just fine. I was so worried that my garden, I will come back for I don't know, for the funeral, because my roses would be dead. Everything lived, and we had a humid and hot weather here in Connecticut. And the minute we came back, suddenly the temperature dropped, and now we have, today is not humid at all. It's nice and sunny, some clouds, and it's not really hot. So just before going to Ireland, I organized a beautiful garden party when all my roses were in bloom. It was just beginning of June, and we had a lovely time. I baked goodies, people brought homemade desserts, and we had lovely time at the table. I put the table in the middle of the garden, a nice tablecloth, beautiful porcelain dishes, and it was lovely. Nice time with the ladies. And during that time I said that I am running into the problem of traveling and having pots which are staying here on our back porch, and several wonderful people said that they are going to take care after my plants. The best ladies in the world. They did such a great job. And some of you know that I traveled to Ukraine in spring, and I was really deciding to do the pots this year or not to do the pots, because I would be spending 1 month in Ukraine. And I decided to do it last minute, to have the season, late season, but still have it. So I'm glad I did it, because the ladies were watering my flowers so well. Thank you, huge thank you to all of them as they are watching. And I organized all the pots at the back of the patio right here. Grouped all the pots together, and I made sure that they are either in saucers or trays. You know, I purchased earlier several of shoe trays. They're kind of big, and they can hold several pots if they're small, or 2 pots if they're big. So if you fill those trays with water, and at the same time you water your plants, they can stay like that for 2 days. So people didn't have to come to my garden every day, and still every second day was a lot of work. So I really appreciate all the effort to keep my plants alive. At the back I came back for a surprise. My roses were blooming. Lady of Charlotte is building up canopy, blooming away. We decided not to cut the grass at the back. We did a great decision. Grass didn't grow. We have a lot of clover growing in the grass, so it kept it short. We have a lot of crabgrass right now. I'm going to weed it out. I don't mind fighting crabgrass that way. Every year I just weed it. We came yesterday, and today I spent probably 3-4 hours trying to fix the front of the garden, you know, the front curb appeal. And my hydrangeas had the best time without me taking care after them. Usually those hydrangeas suffer there under the maple trees. They suffer from drought, so I do need to supplement watering for them to bloom well and to have nice leaf strength. But this year, the humidity, I guess rain was great here in New England, and my hydrangeas bloomed so well. We also had a very mild winter, so all the hydrangeas in Connecticut, in New England, everybody enjoying wonderful blooms. And when we were planting those hydrangeas, we bought 4 different types of mop head hydrangeas, and I don't remember what the names are, but clearly one of them, this big one at the end, has wonderful purplish blue color, not just blue color because of the soil, right? We know that mob hydrangeas, they switch color according to the soil, and my soil there is acidic, so my hydrangeas are blue. But this one has this touch of purple, and it's very nice. I think I will be propagating more exactly of this hydrangea. So my hydrangeas made a beautiful show. Butterfly bush is blooming away. Lady of Shalott is also enjoying herself. And my plants at the back, thank you to all the people who watered them. Oh gosh, I'm going to have fun time putting them together, organizing them around my chair in the back porch here. So that would be one of those good jobs. And now about my trip to Ireland. You know what, we stayed in Ireland several weeks, and my husband organized everything. So we went from the south, we landed in Dublin, and we went to the south of Ireland, and then we hired the car and we just traveled around Ireland all the way to the north. And in the north, we ended up at these beautiful Irish cliffs, and they are bigger than cliffs of Moher, I believe 3 times taller. And what I liked about those cliffs, there were not many tourists, and you could go on a really long hike, like 2-hour hike along the cliffs, up and down. It was a hike, but we loved it. Several years ago we went to Switzerland, more than several years ago, probably 7 or 8, and the Swiss Alps, they're beautiful, but all the passes in the mountains are very close to the edges, and I'm afraid a little bit of height, so that was making me very nervous. But here in Ireland, they keep the pass, a very healthy, good distance from the edge, and I was feeling wonderful there. The only thing, the weather. Irish people were telling me that this year the summer is very cold, and literally I was wearing four layers on me. Ireland is very green. My husband had somewhat a misfortune of driving the road on the left side, plus he was sitting on the right side in the car, so it was quite frustrating at the beginning to get out of Dublin, and not to forget that you have to drive on the left, and all the traffic has to go on your right side. What I fell in love with in Ireland were Irish stone walls, and they were everywhere there. And those stone walls are priceless because they're so old, and they have all sorts of lichens and plants and mosses growing on them. You cannot really duplicate. Here in Connecticut, I was looking into it. I think you need architecture plan for walls higher than 3 feet, so 1 meter tall and no higher, then it's becoming very expensive because you need to hire a professional to install that wall, and I can see why. Those walls has to be professionally installed. So we can't do it ourselves, and the stones are so heavy that you really can't do the enclosure near your garden with beautiful stone walls, and they are everywhere in Ireland. And sometimes when you pass by and you see a little crevice on the top of the wall, there is like a little community going on, formed probably through years, plants growing, flowering so well, and you look at it and all of them are nestled in this little space in the wall, probably protected from wind or rain, severe rain, and they live there so comfortably. And so it was so nice just to film the walls. That's what I was doing. In Ireland, we were traveling around and I was just looking at walls, how lovely they are. So Irish vacation was wonderful. I'm happy to be back. And when I travel abroad or we go on vacation somewhere, I always come back and I appreciate my garden and my home. So my dear gardeners, please like this video, subscribe, and we will see you in our next video. Happy gardening!